All right, we're gonna go down a totally different rabbit hole today. We're gonna get into Wizards of the Coast, the company that makes Magic the Gathering. This is interesting to me because I enjoy the game. I also like Andrew Huerta, who did some of the artwork on I think two or three of the cards for the latest set. And here you go. Here's Tolarian Community College. This is the professor. This is a guy that's probably the most popular YouTuber in the whole MTG scene. And he like usually does product reviews and stuff like that. But every once in a while, he climbs up on a high horse. And here we go. He's climbing up on a high horse. And all of this is based off of an article, which is not actually an article. This is a Google Doc, and I'll show you that in a minute, of basically saying that Wizards of the Coast is racist. Now, Wizards of the Coast is like Seattle-based or Portland, one of the two. It's like West Coast liberal. Like it's just shocking to me. So the reason why they say this kind of thing, this is how it works. Okay, there's the threat. If you don't let SJWs in, they are going to call you racist so that they can get in. And the accusation of racism then gets seen by other people that are not actually reading the articles. They're not actually reading the evidence, but they just hear the accusation of racism, and racism is bad. So there you go. So Tolarian Community College says, why are there no black artists of Magic cards? No black writers of Magic story? No black designers R&D of Magic cards? No black upper management at Wizards of the Coast? The article by this guy, which is not an article. This is, I mean, you could call it an article, but it's not published anywhere. It's just a Google Doc, okay? Without verification of all the facts. It is an important read. It discusses hard truths about the corporate culture of our favorite game. And to this, so I'm going to kind of go backward here, but to this this rando, again, don't contact anybody. We're just going to talk about this for us. But he says, Wizards use an artist openly associated with a right-wing harassment campaign that calls itself Comicsgate for a number of Icorious showcase cards for a primer on Comicsgate. And then he posts this Vulture article hit piece that basically he's just trying to say now Wizards of the Coast is somehow Comicsgate. This is just insane. Okay, so who is the artist? Rando asks, and Andrew Huerta jumps in and he says, I am the artist, but he's lying. I honestly think he hates Latinos or something. And here's the irony in all of this. Andrew Huerta is Latino. Let that sink in for a moment. They've spent all of this time complaining. There's more too, complaining that Wizards of the Coast is not diverse enough. And what do? If you are Latino and you do a project, you have a freelance job and you draw a few cards for their set, it's not really about your skin color, it's about your politics. That is what this comes down to. So if we trace this back a little bit, this is what the professor retweeted. Again, I'm not going to get too much into it. Who is this rando person? Yeah, he's got about as many followers as I do. So this is like nobody. Wizards of the Coast purports to be inclusive and diverse when in reality they have a long history of radically discriminatory behavior. According to accountability through a culture of secrecy and fear, they are unequivocally racist company. That is an extreme accusation. That's intense. And I'm going to guess that Wizards of the Coast is going to now crumble. They're going to do everything they can to avoid this label upon them. I expect there to be a response. They're not going to ignore this like they probably should. They're going to respond. Wait for it. It will come. So if we trace this back to the evidence, this is what we have. It's literally an open Google Word document. I wonder if it's read only. I could request access, but this is it. This is the article with all of the breaking news about everything that's going on. And I will tell you, I read through this, and most everything in it is, I know an unnamed person that applied to work at Wizards of the Coast and they were turned down a job. That is actually the extent of it. Now, if your evidence is that you know somebody that I'm assuming is black or whatever, uh, if you are assuming that them not getting a job at Wizards makes Wizards racist, wouldn't the fact that Andrew Huerta is working, or did cards, and who knows, maybe he's doing more, I don't know, but maybe that is evidence to the contrary? Is that possible? Is it at all possible? Um, I don't know. If you pick one or the other, you can't have it both ways. Certainly. Okay, so getting into some of this other stuff, mono white control is not just a deck. First off, why mono white control when blue white control is just superior? But yeah, so now they're gonna start maligning the company, and the hobby is racist. But you have to understand. I don't know. I have to explain this, but Magic the Gathering has been like, it's been for the neckbeards. You know what I mean? And it's not that it was like necessarily aimed for that crowd of people, if you know what I mean. It has just, that's just the way that it has developed organically. That's just what happened. Okay, just like many other things tend to attract different kinds of people. I'm not entirely sure, and I don't want to try to figure out an explanation for why it works that way. But look around in any hobby, in sports, in very specific sports, and tell me that there's an organization that's keeping people out based on their skin color, when perhaps it could be that there's just less interest. Tell me that you have evidence to the contrary of that. Now, anytime you don't get a job, I think that the first thing to go to would not be that the fact, not be that the hiring party is racist, but perhaps that they have hired somebody else that was more qualified. Maybe when they say you don't fit the company culture, they're actually talking about your words, deeds. Maybe they're talking about your behavior on Twitter. There's any number of things that they could be talking about, any kind of baggage that they don't want to deal with. Maybe it's your insistence on politics being the most important thing in your life and in everyone else's life as well. There's so many other things it could be besides Wizards of the Coast being racist. This is so funny. But again, they will cave to it because they really try to be on top of all this kind of stuff. All right, here's another piece of evidence: the Jason Chang situation, where basic human decency is kind of a big ask. So apparently, I don't know who this guy is. Jason Chang went to a Grand Prix and he was banned from the Grand Prix for aggressive behavior in which he pushed or bumped, depending on whose account you believe. Of course, he's going to say that he bumped, but everyone else around or the judges themselves will say that he pushed a judge at the Grand Prix. These are big, massive competitions. You get disqualified if you push a judge. If you punch the referee, there are going to be consequences. What about this guy? What about Travis Wu, who was suspended by the DCI for 1 year because I guess it all started with him starting a Facebook page called Magic for Bad. You notice anything about his race or ethnicity? Ultimately, he was just not politically correct enough for Wizards of the Coast. And so he didn't fit the culture. They did not, they kicked him out. He couldn't compete. He was suspended for a year from participating. Now, the same kinds of people that are upset about this dude pushing a judge are the same people that were happy for Travis Wu to be suspended. It makes no sense. It's cherry picking evidence. I'm interested to see how the story develops, but honestly, Andrew Huerta should be able to do work anywhere that he wants. Everything I've ever seen him post on Twitter has been great. This is guilt by association. And if the big irony here is, and the sad irony is, that if they go out of their way to uh, get someone fired, a person of color fired, because they don't have the right political opinions about people of color. Do you see how mad this all is? This is insane. Anyway, so I hope Wizards doesn't listen. They will, because this is what keeps them up at night. Stuff exactly like this, and this is exactly the kind of company that is, seriously going to have trouble with this. So let me know what you think in the comments below. I know it's not comics specific, though Andrew Huerta is a comic book artist and a very, very good one at that. So I don't know. Let me know what you think, and I will see you in the next video.